Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Star Wars Clone Wars Retrospective. Oh boy. I don't know. I hate Anakin Skywalker. Trash Snell.
I'm not crazy, Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here talking and reviewing every single episode of the Clone Wars. Man, it is so close because we have this episode, which we're reviewing the first 6 or 7 of the. Let me get this clear. I know it probably says in the description, but we're reviewing the first.
Some clones and some Corvo.
Oh man, why did I get bumped down to season 1? What's going on? Netflix?
We're starting over again.
Yeah, from the beginning. So we're gonna do the first 7 episodes, and then next week you get the last 6 episodes. So we'll be done the entire show, and then Clone Wars season 7 will be here. It's gonna be on Disney Plus. It premieres February 21st, and we'll be reviewing every single episode that is happening. So that's very exciting. So if you want, this is your time. Go back and catch up and check out all the episodes we have reviewed before we reviewed every season. And Taylor asks this every week, but how are you feeling? We're getting that much closer. We're now at this time of recording, we're just kind of 3 weeks. So by the time it comes out, so probably under 3 weeks for the viewers.
So you didn't watch the latest trailer?
No, I've seen some images. I know that there's Padme pregnant in there. I know Kanan's in there and stuff like that. But I didn't watch the trailer. No, because I was on the cast review. Check out their newscast. But no, I kind of, unless I'm have to see something, I'm like, I can wait. And especially because it's getting rolled out week by week, I was like, I'll wait to see what's going on. But I know you're theorizing and hoping that they're going to go do some Revenge of the Sith style stuff.
Well, it seems like it could go down that route where we're going to see, the season end with Anakin going full dark mode. So, I mean, people think that the pregnant Padme scene kind of retcons Revenge of the Sith because he didn't know until Revenge of the Sith. But it's just one of those things where, okay, no, this is just going to be happening over that time period of the movie, which I think overlapping is very cool.
So, because when could it be happening? So he gets back from that mission with Grievous. There's not that much time in between Grievous and him and Obi-Wan splitting up, and then
there isn't that we saw. There's definitely a few days that go by of him kind of debating things on Coruscant. So I think that that could easily, the events of Revenge of the Sith isn't over the course of 3 days. It's probably, I'd say, a week. Like the original Star Wars movies, you have to think it covers a few days, few weeks in space and stuff.
I know most people, I didn't know so much younger, but most people say Empire's actually months worth of movie, in between, but it doesn't feel like that because they move so quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for before, but I'm also down for during and whatnot. So yeah, I'm excited. I want to see what they give us here. I'm excited to see if they answer anything with Maul. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what, but they're going to get into that.
So yeah, it's some good stuff. But until we get into this good stuff, we have some stuff to talk about here. We're reviewing the first 7 episodes. Let's get into it. The unknown clone trooper Tup is suffering from severe neurological disorder that causes the death of a Jedi Master. Trying to find the motives for assassination, Anakin escorts Tup back to Camino for examination. You don't need these examination words twice.
They're saying he escorts him back to Camino in this episode?
Anakin escorts Tup back to Camino for examination, but then they are attacked by a separatist. So it's it's them heading there. It's not them getting there. So that's why they probably just mentioned it once in the episode, and Wikipedia is like, that's the episode. What did you think about this episode, Taylor? This is number 1 of season 6, The Lost Mission. So clear this up for me, too, because it says they were released on Netflix and then season 6 premiered on Germany on the Super RTL. What was the case? Because this, it wasn't on cable or network, or what was the...
No, it was, but Netflix had, the rights or whatever to it at this point. So they had, the go-ahead to put it exclusively and air it just on Netflix, I think, first.
But then it went to TV after?
It's played on TV, but a few times already.
Where it debuted was on Netflix.
I think it debuted on Netflix, yeah. Okay. So.
And do you know any reason why that changed? Just Netflix making a deal or something? Because all the other seasons were on, the Cartoon Network or something?
It was Disney XD, I think, or something like that. I don't think
Disney XD was around in 2008.
Isn't it? Oh, yeah, Cartoon Network then. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, why the change? Just money, I guess?
I guess. I'm not 100% sure. I know once Disney bought Star Wars at this point, it was just a crunch time for them, I think, to figure out, okay, what episodes are we
2014,
doing?
did they buy them at that point?
At this point,
I
yeah,
guess
because
so,
they
yeah.
canceled the show, so they had like their last season to kind of like green light whatever they wanted and get out whatever storylines they had. So I always looked at, okay, these are the last storylines that they thought they would get to tell, and so they had to make them count, which is funny why we get to the Jar Jar one. But it's relevant.
I doubt that, though, because it's animation. I bet they were already in production before the purchase happened and whatnot. Because these don't feel like last episode. Well,
no,
I
think they picked these episodes specifically, and that's why they dubbed it the Lost Missions. But like if you go on YouTube, you can find unrendered episodes for like 2 more seasons,
and
right?
Revan was supposed to be in this, but they took him away and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like, okay, they were selective about what story arcs they wanted to pursue for certain characters, and just kind of threw it into the Lost Missions, which I feel like, each story arc they tackle is important and relevant to the story, and now it's nice that it was left open enough that season 7 can fill in the gaps.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I like, also, we'll talk about the other ones more in depth. I like both these arcs. This first 4 is with 5, sorry, not Cody, because they all just look the same pretty much. But they got this weird face art, which I'm never a fan of. But I like this, and then I don't know if I should say I appreciate all these 7 episodes. None of these were my absolute favorite. I think these were the first 4 I definitely prefer more than the Clovis stuff, because it was all right. It's just more Star Wars politics, which is fine. But I do think the Cody, I always think it's the Cody. 5's story does have a lot to do with Revenge of the Sith, obviously. Padme and Anakin's has a lot to do with Revenge of the Sith. I think when we get in the next episode, we'll wait to talk about it. I don't know. There's not much with the Jar Jar Mace thing. I think you could kind of get rid of that, even though I like saying Mace Windu. So this episode and this arc in general, I did really like. It was really well done. But I don't think it's not one that I really need to go watch again. I think it's just because this is the prequel thing where it's just like what's gonna happen and you just know the route we're going, and at the end of the day, like we were talking before this cast, you're like, oh, 5's almost found out, but it's like, but he didn't. So in the long range, like this storyline means nothing. Like,
not necessarily. It changes things. Even in the movies, it changes things.
What does it change in the movies?
I don't want to say because it's gonna. Yeah, I don't want to say because like that. What you said is right.
When did they take these chips out? Because that didn't happen in these episodes. Other than like 5 took his chip out, but what is that? Just some canon book comic somewhere?
No, because I don't want to say because you're gonna get to it in Rebels.
I've seen. Oh, so that happens there. Okay, but how does it affect the movies then?
The movies?
Yeah. Other than someone being like, look, old Commander Cody's in the background.
It's old Captain Rex at the Battle of Endor, and he fought there, one, so that affects the movies there in that sense.
Yeah. It doesn't miss. That's, I mean, these are just, they're fun to play on the lore of like, oh, these chips and whatnot, and you get to see Palpatine throughout these episodes be really slimy.
Oh, he's so shady.
Yeah, trying to make sure nothing comes up. But I like this episode. It was a good setup. I liked. Do you know what the race of those 2 Jedi Masters were?
No.
They were twins. The only thing is, I get it. Star Wars, they can't feel emotion, blah blah blah. But I do feel that she should have been a little more upset that her sister had died. I felt that could have been better, but
that happens, when you're a Jedi.
I guess.
Are you gonna Google what race they are?
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna Google it.
You're the canon guy, not me. They had some hair where it wasn't actually moving; it just looked like it was.
Yeah, I knew you would like the hair.
I don't know if I do because
really?
It was just like, I don't know. Was it supposed to be? Are they tentacles moving, or is it like wind? It's tentacles, right? They're just always moving.
It's something like that. They're always moving. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, It was fine. It looked a little too fantasy for me sometimes, and I've never seen them before in any other canon or movie. So for me, if you've listened to this series, I have a problem sometimes with some stuff feels very Star Wars and some stuff feels a bit too fantasy and out there. For them, they felt a little too out there. That was fine. I really liked that Green Troopers look, but yeah, it was I knew what I was kind of in for the second Tub like shot her, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna go, and I did like the way of following orders, all this stuff. I did like it was a fun kind of conspiracy. It's very much like Minority Report. Have you seen Tom Cruise's Minority Report?
I haven't seen that.
Okay,
actually.
So it's a movie where they're cops, but they can have this like these people that see things and they're in these tanks and they can see like someone commit a crime before they even commit a crime and they arrest the person. But then what happens is they're watching this and they see Tom Cruise commit a crime. So it's all this like sci-fi, like he's on the run trying to figure out. And that's what this whole 4 one. So or these full 4 episodes are about. So the first one was a good setup. I would give this I'd give it a thumb. Like I said, I did say I really, really liked it, but I think I just liked the execution. It was really well done, really well written. It wasn't cheesy or anything like that, but it's not episodes I'm really going to, like, I would revisit them, but they're not in the top 10 there. And this, what's that Spire villain guy that came back? You told me he'd be back at some point.
Oh, God.
Half his body is gone now, so he's robotic. So he was back. That was cool. He got some Dooku action in there, but
because he's coming back. Well, I shouldn't say.
Does he come back?
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
He can't put a good spider guy down.
No, of course not. Of course not. So yeah, for me, it's a thumb up.
Trench, Admiral Trench. I love my admirals. Admiral Thrawn, Admiral Trench.
That was a while back ago. Wasn't it like season 3 or something like that?
Admiral Trench?
Yeah,
it was. So they popped him some new arms and threw him back into the mix.
Wow, you search Trench on Wikipedia. He only comes up in one place, not even the episodes. But yeah, thumbs up. What about you two? What are your final thoughts? And,
I would give this a thumb and a half, I would say. It was good. I can confirm that the Jedi are Mikian. So yeah, their hair. You wouldn't like hair like that? I thought you were all for the hair thing. The tentacles like the Twi'leks.
That's different. The Twi'leks just have these two nice, gracious tentacles. This is all like they're always moving and whatnot. They might get in the way, might attach to. So yeah, I don't know if I'm...
It's like a thick head of hair on any woman, you know?
Yeah, but their hair's not moving all the time. Even then, that might be all right because it's just hair. Those look like slimy, wet tentacles. So yeah, I didn't love the look, to be honest.
They come in green skin, pink skin, red skin, yellow skin, or blue skin. So you the whole rainbow just of buffet of colors. There's yellow.
Oh, was there yellow?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Distinctions. Numerous head tendrils. They're called tendrils, so there you go.
Tendrils, nice.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. Clone Trooper Tup is undergoing a medical examination in the sterile laboratories of Kamino to find the motives of his shocking attack on the Jedi Master. For the examination to succeed, Trooper 5 must enter the depths of Tup's mind where he finds the secret code manipulation in the cloning program of the Republic. So this episode is just... I like there's that one scene where he is going crazy, but then the Jedi sister does just force push him against the wall. I thought we could have done a bit more of...
well, they should have had even the window deactivated before they started doing the tests.
Yeah. I think there could have been still more interaction with her, but yeah, like this episode is just more of just Fives. The first one was to set up. This is Five finding out something's wrong. There's something that's been programmed in the clones. We don't know what it is. And like I said, I like this episode. I don't have... That's why I feel bad. I think the Clovis ones I have more to add to because there's some Anakin stuff. But all these episodes were very basic, and they don't, to me... I think that's the thing where I like other episodes, especially we'll get to when we do the last three that kind of add to the lore, and you talk about what ifs and what's this and blah, blah, blah. There's not much what ifs here because it's we know what the situation is. We know where the clones are going. And like I said, it doesn't really affect anything. So there's no what ifs or why were they thinking? This is just, okay, Fives is trying to find out that there's something wrong with them. And I thought it was done well. So for me, this would be a thumbs up. But I don't think I have too much more to add on Conspiracy.
Yeah, the only thing you get to see is the foundations that the Kaminoans are shady as fuck.
Yeah.
And this was cool because the only time we got to see them was in Attack of the Clones for a brief bit when Obi-Wan was there, and they play a huge role in Revenge of the Sith and the whole Order 66 protocol. So to see more light shed on them in this sense, and this doctor being I hated her. You just get super pissed off about her, and you just wish that Shaak Ti could be like, come on,
Shaak Ti seems like an autopilot.
Yeah, she was so out of it.
But yeah, I would say, I like all that stuff as far as it's very much like the bad guy experimentation center and everything like that. And is this the episode where they do send some sort of message to Palpatine or something, and he just kind of we gotta,
The Kaminoans, I think maybe they were aware of the Chancellor, but they did all their communication to Dooku, right? And then he reported to Palpatine in this episode, and they were freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that was good to see, because in the movies I always felt they're shady, but you kind of get your confirmation here that they are, and then they know about 66 and all this stuff, so they want to hide that. So yeah, it was good conspiracy stuff, as the title's called.
I give this a thumb and a half.
Thumb and a half. What's keeping you from the last one and then this one being 2 thumbs? Because you love your Commando, so I thought they'd all be. I do,
but I don't like that Fives. I'll get to it when we get to it.
Dead?
Spoilers, yeah. Oh, spoilers.
How does that...
I hate. He's my favorite clone. I hate that they killed him off. It
Wow,
sucks.
what makes Fives your favorite clone?
I always liked his personality, and I love his design. His aesthetic of his armor with the 2 shoulder pauldrons and his helmet aesthetic just looks so good. And he wasn't like bombarded with face tattoos. I like the 5 on the side of his head, and he had a nice clean haircut. It wasn't like bald or bald half of head with a ponytail. Like, it was just a solid clone look, you know.
Yeah, you know who my favorite clone is?
Cody?
The dead one.
Ooh.
That guy that died like way back in Rookies that just like got not in Rookies, but it was one episode where he died really early on. I think there was an explosion.
It's either
or something.
cut. I think it's cut up or heavy.
I think he was cut out because the one that's such a stupid name, cut up. But yeah, fugitive clone trooper is transported back to Coruscant, where his body is examined by the Chancellor's personal physician. The ARC Trooper 5s is also investigating the matter and discovers the modified code has been hidden in their minds of all the clones. So very similar. Like I guess Conspiracy was more that episode where they get to Camino and it's just lots of experimentations. They're all like talking about what's going on. That's where I felt like probably Dooku was maybe the end of that episode or whatnot, because obviously they say, you know, they get to Coruscant. And Palpatine, yeah, he's being really shady. He's trying to do everything where he makes it seem like he's helping, but he's trying to keep this secret and everything like that, because I guess that, so obviously, you know, we're going to get to, so someone important passes away in the episode. So I guess, like, in your head, Ken, what would happen if the Jedi Council had found out about Order 66?
If the Jedi Council, okay,
like before it happens, like
I've played this out many times.
Fives finds it all out. He gets these chips, everything like that, and they believe him, and he doesn't die. You know, spoilers for the next episode we're going to talk about. What do you think would happen?
So I've role played this many times in my head. Now,
in your head, okay,
in my head, yeah.
In your bedroom, or Kate 66. No, I will not. And Taylor has all his toys dressed up as troopers.
All my clone troopers out. So in this sense, you have Order 66 that could literally be declared at any point in time. Mm-hmm. Palpatine was waiting for the moment that Anakin was going to just sway over to his side. You know, it had to be timed perfectly. So in a sense, too, like, he was just gaining more political power again and again and again, to the point where he could drop the line, "I am the Senate." Yeah. So
great dialogue in the prequels.
If you have now the Jedi Council be informed of this, I feel like at this early on in the game, being like maybe a year or so before Revenge of the Sith,
this is a year.
That's my prediction, is around like a year, like half a year or so before the events of the movie. So I think that, at least I would hope in that sense, if they were made aware of this information and made aware that the Chancellor is evil, because they already suspected it. You know, the abrasiveness of that Windu and the bluntness of Windu's decision, I think he made that call and he didn't contact the rest of the council. Yoda did not, at least that we saw. We never had them have a meeting of what is the best thing to do.
Yeah,
he acted and just like, yeah, so that was
he did
wrong.
What he
thought was
right,
best, and that was not good.
No, I think he was right to do it. It's not his fault Anakin's a little bitch, because really, if you think about it, and once again, George Lucas says legitimately Mace Windu won that fight. He beat Palpatine. So if you think about it, you take Anakin out of the equation, he did what was right. He took him out. Yeah, he lost those other fuckers to those terrible fight scenes, but he did what was right, and yeah, you can debate if he should kill them or not. I do think you should kill someone like Palpatine, so I think he did make the right choice in that situation. But obviously, Anakin was they should have put him somewhere else.
Yeah, no, they should have. Wait in the Jedi Council chambers for my return. Yeah, then you will gain my trust. So
he shouldn't even said that. He should just been like, "Wait there, I'm gonna call Yoda." He should just lie to him and then went.
He should have. Yeah. There's so many different things they could have done, but in this sense, I feel like the Jedi Council would have convened and they would have taken a political. Well, even then, it would have been very hard for them, because.
Well, they wouldn't have known that was Palpatine, right? Because at this point,
if the clone trooper told them, which he knew, right? He knew the Chancellor was the bad guy.
Did he find that out?
Yeah, because he said it's like a conspiracy all the way to the top, you know, and he was
but
talking.
But did he actually specifically say the Chancellor though? Or
he did.
scene?
He did in the next episode, and
Okay.
he says like it's
I
the
forgot
Chancellor, and Anakin was like, the Chancellor couldn't hurt anybody.
yeah, idiot.
So
So yeah, fair enough. So they'd have an idea that Palpatine. So here's the thing, though. Like in this way that you're telling them to convene, would Palpatine know that they knew, or is this?
he
them?
would know, but that's the thing. If
the-
they allowed the political side to take control of the situation and not get involved, like they kept, they were placed in the role of generals, so they felt like they were getting involved with everything. And if they let the politics decide what to
Padme.
do, then they could have ousted him, or they could have dealt with it properly.
See, I think at that point, maybe Palpatine still would have just executed Order 66 right then, because that would.
But there wouldn't be probable cause. That's the thing. There wouldn't have been an actual claim to the Senate that the Jedi turned on him and attacked him.
But
if they
the thing-
reported the information.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. So let's say he doesn't. So okay, so in headcanon, let's say they found here, Fives comes back, they have this meeting with Anakin, blah blah blah. One, you lose Anakin because Anakin then fully believes that he's bad, right? Anakin eventually believes that, and even in Revenge of the Sith, because he even says he's going to kill the Chancellor. So again, it makes no sense. I hate the prequels or stuff like that. It just but that makes no sense at that point. He's been such a father figure, and then that
I can overthrow him.
Yeah, it's just
Then you and me can make them
all
so
right,
you want them
sure.
to
That
be.
makes no sense. The whole trilogy, you've been pretty I trust this little old man. So okay, so Anakin, I would let's say assume that he's not with Palpatine anymore. If he doesn't execute it there, my idea is he executes it just to make a clean escape and start anew. Because the thing is because even then, when Mace Windu and his guys go to confront him, he doesn't go let's see if the Senate will be kind to me. He attacks right away. Right? So in this way, if there's proof that Palpatine is ahead of, or one of the people ahead of this Order 66 thing, that is punishable as far as by law. So again, we've seen what would happen when he is approached with, you're going to go to prison. I think that's what would happen here too, that, okay, he still has the clones. Why wait around till they figure out a way to stop Order 66, hit it there, and then he could escape and do something, or even find a new way to spin it that wasn't his fault.
In this sense, it's a political game. They even say it in Revenge of the Sith, Bail Organa says, the Chancellor cannot keep the Senate intact with all the thousands of star systems. He needs to play this carefully. Just because he executes Order 66, that he's got to play his cards carefully and explain why the Jedi were executed and everything. Because if he is the Chancellor, but all the star systems abandon the Republic, then he's the power of nothing.
But I'm saying he's executing them as a way of I'm out of here. I'm just doing that to hurt them. Because so what happens if they
you make a good point in the fact that he could do that.
Look at Rise of Skywalker. Sometimes he just throws shit out there. He's
Yeah.
look at that's the thing. 10,000 Star Destroyers and
he could, but then unfortunately, would it take down all the Jedi? It's hard to say.
It would a good port.
It
It'd be
would
better
literally
than not
turn
doing it though.
True, but then it would be good to do it, but it would literally probably seal his fate, and then it would also tear the entire galaxy apart.
But
there wouldn't be any more singular rule.
But don't you think his fate's already determined if they know he's a part of it? No matter what, he's going to prison or he's gonna die.
If they think so, yeah. But then
not if they think so. This is they have proof
if they have the proof and they know he is, and they relay that information to the Senate, it depends how they would handle it, because obviously he didn't enact Order 66 until he literally gave Mace Windu that breathing second to think, okay, it's treason then, and after that line has been crossed, then, he is able within his rights to activate this contingency, because, Order 66 is just one of those other protocols where the clones can act independently in their sense to take out rogue Jedi, which the Jedi thought it was, and you see him with Krell and all that.
Well, but they still just do. If he says Order 866, if they have the chip, they just do it, right? So it's not like they have much choice. So they don't need to know it's treason or anything like that. Even in Revenge of the Sith, he just says
no. But the
66.
treason isn't for the clones.
No,
I
know, but that's what I mean. So I know it's for them, but at this point, he'd be dead to rights. What would if they found he was part of this cloning and he put in this thing? What way out does he have in the situation?
Then he would activate Order 66, but the Jedi would expect it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Yeah, it'd be completely different, because I don't think Palpatine would just sit there and go to trial and hope for the best.
Well,
what would he do? What would be his case? What would be his case in this situation?
Well, I don't know. He's got contingencies for those that we haven't seen.
We'd have to see that. I do hope that the Marvel What If show is really big, because I want them to do that with Star Wars. I know they did the What If comics, but I want them to do a Disney Plus animated show, and you can get Mark Hamill back. You get Adam Driver, Daisy. I really hope they do that. So, because I think that's what I would think is maybe there's some contingency, but I just don't know what it would be. The only ways he'd have to try and frame someone else, but that'd be pretty hard when he's like the tippy top guy. So yeah, I just think, in my opinion, I think he would just order 66, execute order 66, and then just get out of there and regroup and find something else. And because that's what he did in Rise of Skywalker, right? Whether you like the movie or not, it is canon. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, he lost. And what was his idea? His idea wasn't to like snake back into the government. It was just like, I'm just going to destroy it with all these starships and hopefully Kylo or Rey. So to me, that would have been, and I always thought that could be that too, that if all his contingencies are gone, it's just, okay, we'll take over by power. And that's what he was trying to do. So yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, if you do have that what if where Windu did kill Palpatine and Anakin didn't interfere, then, you know, do you think the Jedi would have found Exegol and ended him sooner again? Because after
that's a whole nother what. Well, because in that situation, no, I don't think I don't even know if he'd be brought back alive because you'd have so many Jedi around surveying the information. There's a chance they might just burn his body because the stupid the Vision Dictionary makes no sense of like how it came out. One, it should be in the movie. It's just probably a 5-minute scene, whatever. But two, the way so these Sith acolytes went and they discovered Palpatine's body. That's a bunch of bullshit. So like when he got thrown,
they helped resurrect him in that sense.
But in the Visionary Dictionary says they found his body. So two things. One, he gets thrown on that shaft, which already bad enough. When he hits the shaft, it explodes. So you could assume that he's been hidden by lasers. I know there could be Sith alchemy, but either way, let's just talk about his physical body. It would be a mess, right? And then on top of that, the Death Star number 2 blows up completely. Where do they find his body? It's just floating somewhere. It's like, it makes no sense. I wish they would have just said that they clone him a vessel somehow. So it's just like, that's like, maybe that's why it's not in the movie. They just agree like, oh, this is kind of stupid. But so in that sense, he's like a horror movie. You'd have to burn his body and he couldn't come back. So I guess maybe after Yoda's trip in the next episodes we'll talk about, maybe if he would have been alive, kept taking these trips, saying, oh, we got to burn that body because he'll come back. So I would assume that like they would just be, Jedi just would have won, and maybe someone would have turned. I think Anakin, you could never trust Anakin. He could have turned. I think he was just going to turn no matter what in his life. So, but yeah, I don't think there could be an Exegol, but I don't know if it would be Palpatine there, but I guess Rey would still be kicking around, so Rey could just go to Jedi Academy.
Well,
Ben Solo
Rey
would
wasn't
be fine.
born yet at this point in time.
No, but I mean, like, she
So if they killed
would have. But Palpatine, we don't know when the son was born, right?
No, because the son, if you look at the timeline of how old he is, well, you take Rey's age and kind of like figure out the age of the son, and then like how old Palpatine would have been when he had the son. And Palpatine would have had the son after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
so he got down and dirty when he was wrinkly and kinkly.
Yeah. So yeah, then there would be no Rey, I guess, and Ben Solo would be sad. But even then, I guess there might not even be a Ben Solo, to be honest.
Oh, there'd be a Ben Solo.
Well, no, because there's a chance Leia and Han don't meet, right? If the galaxy's all fine, there's no Death Star, there's no Darth Vader, so there's a chance that those two never meet, right?
Han Solo goes back to Kira, and
he's still looking for oh god, but probably, to be honest. So yeah, if Palpatine dies there, that's a lot of heroes and whatnot.
That's a whole different original trilogy.
Oh, a whole different. Maybe they should just do that as a what if. I'll give this episode a thumb up because there wasn't much to talk about in this episode. It's just fives. He has his little robot friend, which is actually not too annoying, thank goodness. So I liked him.
Same voice as what was the other one? That little droid from the droid missions?
Yeah. I blocked all those out of my brain. Go check that out. So yeah, and this entire arc was written by Katie Lucas. So there you go. But yeah, I'd give this a thumb.
I'd give this a thumb and a half.
Thumb and a half. I can't, I would understand this next episode give him a thumb and a half, but these three, he doesn't die in them, so he's still alive.
But I know it's looming. So.
Oh boy. Episode 4, Orders. In an effort to find more answers about the assassination, Fives attempt. Why is his name Fives instead of 5?
CT 555.
All right. Fives attempts to speak with Chancellor Palpatine personally, only to find himself on the run while explaining his theory to Anakin and Captain Rex. He is shot and killed by a clone squadron. So that's my thing, is it's a theory. That's the thing. I don't know if he ends up with any physical proof, though.
Is that what it said? It was a theory?
It says a theory.
Oh, don't trust the Wikipedia.
That's true. Fine, I'll trust you. But I just remember that episode. There was nothing he had concrete that would for sure look at the Palpatine.
Well,
Palpatine could
his
still play
like what his evidence, he said was in his mind. It was in all clones' minds, referring to the chips. And again, like their visions that they have, like their nightmares. So they're like when they go to sleep, like they have this like reoccurring dreams of like the events, and like It's just like something that's
guess-
been laid down in like other Star Wars medias as well, canon and Legends now, where just the clones have always had that kind of impending thought, like they knew what was coming, but it wasn't really like aware of it being there. So
I guess that's my problem is that. So that's what I hate about prequels. So all this goes down, and all this about the chip and blah blah. And I know Camino's and they just it's just a regular chip. It blew up, whatever. No one on the Jedi Council thinks we should even look into this anymore.
no, because they said that like originally they wanted to bring Fives they wanted to bring Tup to the Jedi Council, and they wanted to test them and use the Force to see what's going on. And then they wanted to convene, I think, with Fives, but Fives was like just Anakin and just Rex. But the interesting thing is Anakin, after what Fives said to Anakin and Rex about, the conspiracy and all that, do you think Anakin's going to report it to the Jedi Council? He's not going to report it as in detail and saying it's the Chancellor.
Well, not that, but even just Shock T was all around. Where all
Shock
this stuff
T was just useless, though. I feel like
know,
she
but
was so
she was around for all
unbiased.
this chip stuff. Like, it'd be like, hey, wouldn't you maybe want to get it also checked out? Like, this is what I don't like about this arc and why it's, like I said, with prequels. A clone literally went haywire and assassinated a Jedi, and they drop it pretty easily of just like, oh, it's just one simple malfunction.
From what we get to see in the show, they dropped it. But throughout all of this, like, you can sense and you can see even at the end with Yoda, you can tell, like, okay, they're still pursuing it. And that's again,
they don't, though. We don't see that in the movies. In the movies, it's just wartime. And like, to me, one of my Jedi is getting gunned down by one people on our side. I would almost be like, I am not having a single clone trooper with any of my Jedi on the battlefield until I don't care about the war. I know there's lots going on with Grievous and Dooku. I would not have any clones around any Jedis until we get these chips ourselves.
But you hear Windu though. Chancellor's like, we got inoculation for all the clones, and Windu's like, so it's behind us. We can carry on.
That's what, and I guess that's the point. I know sometimes always people go, yeah, the Jedi Council, they were cloud. That's what they've done. But that's why I think sometimes with the prequels, it doesn't feel like that necessary. They throw that out in other movies, but it just feels like they made the council complete idiots. In the sense of it's not even unbelievable.
They kind of are though.
But they kind of are. But I mean, like they never made that a deep thing. They make that a few sentences here and there. Like you should have had people, even Anakin in the Revenge of the Sith, he like questions them just because he doesn't become master. He doesn't question them because like all this stuff's going on. That would have been more believable if Vader turned. The same way they insinuate Dooku and Qui-Gon, like Dooku turned because he didn't really believe about the Jedi Council and that they were going the wrong way. It's just one line and then it's dropped. And I think same thing with the prequels. Another way of turning Anakin was that, seeing how the Jedi Council is kind of what Luke talked about in Last Jedi. I think Last Jedi is far better than these prequels. And when he talked about the hubris of the Jedi and all this stuff, that's what I wish the prequels would have been about. So yeah, you could have Vader turning because Palpatine and Padme, but also that underline of, oh, they are completely wrong and they're bullheaded and it makes no sense. But no, they just make it because they don't give him the rank of master and he's just pity. So that's what I mean. Like,
no, they had that like the line in the dialogue because like how can you be on the council and not be a master?
But that still feels like a personal thing. That still feels like a personal thing. Then you could have done the reverse of maybe Obi-Wan would have been questioning them too, just be like, why are you doing this to him? But no, they just, okay. And I get that that's like some of the stuff, but I think it's done poorly in the movies, and I think it's still done poorly here. It's the same way we talk about
here's
Anakin
a what if then
killing
for
that
you.
guy when we first meet the Duchess, and they're just like,
oh,
Anakin.
Yeah.
Like,
Anakin.
It's not written off like all the stuff people can just be like, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. But it's like, no, it's just written as far as like a hand wave of like, oh, whatever, they're dumb. It's like, no, it needs to be better written than that.
Here's a what if then for you. So let's say that the council agreed and made him a master and put him on the council. Does he still turn to the dark side, or does he feel happy that he's a master?
I think no matter what, like, and that's my problem with that whole master and whatnot. I think they try to quickly throw it in there to be like, oh, this is another brick on his shoulder. But really, at the end of the day, it was just about Padme. I think if he was a master and it was still about saving Padme, it wouldn't have mattered. So that's why this whole storyline in Revenge of the Sith of, you're a Jedi Knight, but you're not a master and you're on the council, it doesn't really play into the final thing. It plays into like maybe a little untrustworthy thing, but it doesn't, because you know why? Right away when he finds out about Palpatine, he goes to the council and Mace Windu. So it's not like
he reports it though.
But that's what I mean. But that's where you should, if you do that route of he's not trusting the council in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, why does he go report it? Anakin, that's why I hate the turn. In the movie, the first half, he's all over the fucking map, and it makes zero sense.
Well, that's
they
what
should just
Palpatine
focus in
states too. Like, oh, you want, because Anakin says like I should turn you into the Jedi Council, and then Palpatine says like, well, you're not sure of their intentions, are you? And that's the thing. thing to show the conflict in him, right? Like
I know, but then we have the Palpatine telling us the conflict. It's the tell us, don't show us. One, it's because Hayden Christensen, I'm not gonna say he's a terrible actor, but he was directed terribly in that. And two, it's just there was no struggle. That scene cuts, and then the next time he's just with Mace. He's like, I have some scary news, whatever he says. Like he just says some news that could really hurt us. So yeah.
So how about this then? He gets to be on the council. He becomes a master, and then Mace, Anakin made a statement in a case saying, I must go with you to confront the Chancellor. Mace said no. What if Mace let him come? And let's say when Mace just says, you're under arrest, Chancellor, and there's Kit Fisto and the other 2 Jedi Masters and Anakin, all with their lightsabers ignited, standing there. And then Palpatine says, it's treason then. Are you threatening me? And then he whips out his lightsaber. What happens? What does Anakin do in this
because
scenario?
the prequels were in Anakin so bad, I actually don't know. But I'm trying to think in my mind, if you see, it's different when he gets there because, they're dead. But I think it's different if Anakin literally sees Palpatine butchering these
1080
Jedi. Well,
spin from prone position.
Just even killing people he's trained with, I think that gives it more so of like, and if he did see those moves, because when he gets there, again, he's just a week old, about to die man. So I think if he saw him kill his friends and fellow masters, fellow council people, and then also the danger he is, I don't know if he would have let him kill them still, but I think there's a better chance. But then again, I don't know. That's the same thing. Would Palpatine have attacked them if Anakin was there because he was trying to turn him, right?
Well, is he just going to let Anakin stand there with his lightsaber ignited,
well, he'd probably hope that.
else?
I think he would maybe hope that when he's about to be taken away, maybe he'd tell Anakin like, "Oh, if I'm gone, like Padme's dead," and maybe Anakin would have to kill all those people, right? So I think no matter what, Anakin is still. And I think Mace was right to say he should be there. I think Mace should have kept some guards on him. So the second they left, someone would have been like, yo, Anakin Skywalker just left. And Mace would be like, okay. So I think that Mace handled it poorly. But I think no matter what, if Anakin's there, it doesn't go Mace's way. If Obi-Wan's there, maybe a bit different. But
you think so?
Like
because Obi-Wan was there and Obi-Wan was with Anakin and Palpatine on the ship, and Anakin still cut off Dooku's head.
Anakin Obi-Wan's not unconscious, so I mean a conscious Obi-Wan.
Conscious
time.
Obi-Wan.
But even then, their relationship is stupid too.
Anakin.
Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan and Anakin hate each other so much, and then in the next movie they're brothers, and it's like, oh, even in that movie, it's just like, oh yeah, he's like a father to me. Not really. I've never, other than when I was maybe 5 and under, told my father I hated him. So. I don't know. This has turned into the what ifs.
It is. What did Anakin say about Obi-Wan? He's
holding me back.
Well, not that too, but he says as powerful as Master Windu and as wise as Master Yoda.
Which he survived more than those two.
He did, yeah, he did.
Yeah. Let's see. So what else happens in this episode? Lots of running. Yeah, he does talk to Anakin. He dies right in front of Anakin because he just gets, and then Anakin tries to stop that happening, but it didn't happen. So he's dead. And same thing as the episodes. This is kind of a same exactly what it's called, like the conspiracy fuses order. It's just that he's on the run. He's trying to get to people, tell them what's going on. And I enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed the arc. It would be a thumbs up for me.
Did you enjoy the clone bar?
Yeah, I did actually. That was kind of fun. Yeah, I did like that. So seeing them drunk I was like, okay, that's a little surprising. But yeah, I did like that.
Yeah, the whole cab scene and whatever, and him getting out and he's just like, build a republic, and the clones laughing, throwing their drunk bottles at his cab and stuff. Really, really a nice change of pace. And just the clones, like their Twi'leks were like dancing with the clones and the clones.
Yeah, Twi'leks were great. They're all over the bar.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, Jesus Christ.
This chair is broken. It's not my chair, that's why.
Is it actually broken?
I think it's your chair. It's probably broke. It's probably because you're always tipping in it.
Well, I adjusted it so you can rock in it.
I'm going to steal these chairs, and Dylan and Kirklin are going to get these. And then you'll watch a newscast, and someone will be like, what the fuck? And you'll just see me smiling.
Yeah, the episode though, the clone stuff I really enjoyed. I got that Black Series Commander Fox, so that's really awesome. And he was in this, and it sucks that he was the one to put a good clone down. He shot 5s, and the ray shields made a comeback, which is interesting. But yeah, I really enjoyed the scene where 5s is just saying, the nightmares or the dreams are ending, and all the clones in that little detachment all took their helmets off because it resonated with them, right? They all knew, and it's nice because that moment there is what sets things apart for Rex and his journey and how that continues, along with spoiler, not spoiler, other clones.
And yeah, I know they're in Rebels. So
So-
yeah, that's kind. I'm watching Rebels right now. It has it's kind of like this shows has pros and cons. I feel it's even sometimes just as, if not more, kiddie than Clone Wars some episodes. And the animation style is not as great. It's fine, but it's not.
Not Clone Wars.
No, it's definitely not Clone Wars. So what are you rating this episode?
Yeah, this is hard. Cause it was so close. He was trying to share the information, and the information, like, it was just so goddamn close. And I know it doesn't change anything because Revenge of the Sith still happens, but yeah, I'll give it a thumb and a half. Rest in peace, Fives.
Rest in peace, Fives. We barely knew ye. Let's see. Episode 5. An old friend, while on a mercy mission to the planet Scipio?
Where is it? Which word?
Scipio.
Scipio.
Who knows? Scipio, Padme Aldana's old flame, Rush
Old
Clovis,
flame.
who we've seen before, right?
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
Padme was poisoned, and Clovis was
Yeah.
like just a shit. He was an asshole.
Yeah, and she trusts him again
Anakin
for
left
some
him
reason.
behind.
Yeah. Gets in touch with her, asking for her help. Having made a stand against the corruption on his planet, Clovis now has become a target of the bounty hunter Embo. I love Embo. Together with Padme, he is now trying to leave his planet and get help. So these episodes, I think the only thing that I really like them is the Padme, Anakin, and even Clovis dynamic. You get the kind of relationship stuff. I think the whole, can we trust him? Can we not? Storyline was boring because you just know, like, this guy he was super bad last time, and he's gonna be super bad. And spoilers for the next 2 episodes we're about to talk about. He's super bad, and it's always just because, like, and he's super bad in the way of, like, he doesn't know what he's trying to do right, but he's just making choices that are so dumb and they make zero sense. So that stuff was very just generic, just okay. This was the setup episode of we can trust him this time, and he can help. And Anakin is like being hot headed, so that adds to Padme being like, oh, you must be in the wrong, blah blah. And Anakin's the only one kind of right in this situation, even though it's kind of like, is he really, like, he ends up being right, but it's like the master thing again. He just doesn't like Clovis because it's more the Padme thing, to be honest.
Well, it's I feel like Padme in this scenario where there's many cases where a woman who is being flirted on, and like the guy is like pursuing her and she's in a relationship with someone else or married or whatever, and they just kind of brush off like, oh no, he's just a friend or whatever. And I feel like, okay, are you completely oblivious to the fact that the guy's putting on the moves? And Clovis was putting on the moves. He wanted
Been in that
Padme.
situation before, Taylor?
I can't remember. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah.
you could. No, I don't think I have. Usually, I make a.
He's
I'm like,
lying.
I'm like,
He's lying. That story doesn't come from a lie. But yeah, that part makes, and even that part is generic. But just seeing Anakin and Padme in that situation, but the political stuff it's fun. These next 3 episodes, that's what was boring me.
I love the political part of this. It's so juicy.
I think I would have preferred it in 2. I don't think we needed 3. I think they added 3 for like some action, but I think the first episode could have been like, could we trust him? And then it ends with the Dooku reveal while he's working with him. And then episode 2 being the shit hits the fan Chancellor. I like that stuff where he takes control of the banks, and it's very much like a preview to what's going to happen in Revenge of the Sith. So I like that. It's alluding to it, but I don't think it needed to be 3. I think that's my thing, that maybe it was drawn out. I would have liked it more, and that's why for 3 episodes of politics, and it's also politics, you just know which way it's going because it's prequel, and and that's why people like Taylor always say, like, it's not about the destination's journey. That's fine, but for me, the destination, there wasn't anything too amazing. It wasn't anything too shocking or surprising, or it's finely written. It's not bad. All these episodes, I would say, are at least 1 thumb up or more, but that's what I'd give this one. It's a good setup. But like I said, it was just, you just know the politics, what's going to happen. They're talking about these banks. Clovis is not going to be a good guy, and he wasn't. And
yeah. These episodes, I didn't enjoy like a lot, but I enjoyed the political part of it. I can't remember which one was the bank one again. Was it the last one?
This last one, yeah, because that's what they're talking about, and then Dooku gets control of them, but then they don't, and then so I think Dooku almost gets control of them, and they're like, oh, so this never happens again. Let's give all the power to the Chancellor, and he's just like, I humbly accept. Which also why in the Lost Missions does the Emperor's voice change back and forth to a different actor, because Tim Curry, who's the original Pennywise, is doing something, but then other episodes it's the OG Palpatine.
I have no idea.
Cool.
I have no idea. It's
Weird choice.
actor developer thing. Yeah, no, just this episode. Yeah, Clovis is just he's an oddball. I don't really like him as a character. He's just, I mean, he's a good character, but he bothers me. He's just so like skeevy and just like I want to get that Padme. You know, I want to get in her.
That wasn't the P word I thought you were about to say.
You know, I know what word you're thinking. I was gonna say. Well, there's two words actually. Yeah, pie. The Padme pie.
That's what she was called in high school. Gotta get that Padme pie baked well done. It's a kid's show, folks. It's a kid's show.
Yeah, just Clovis is just he doesn't think things properly. Think things through. Like I don't know what he's thinking really. He's just a doofus, and he's trying to make deals and like get ahead in his career, but he's just a fucking moron. If you ask me. So. And it's not his fault, you know. You can't blame stupid people. You can't blame them for being stupid. They're just stupid, and this guy Clovis is stupid. So, yeah, I'll give it a thumb.
A thumb. one Padme pie out of one Padme pie. Let's see. The Rise of Clovis. What is like
the Rise of Clovis? JJ saw this episode. Like the Rise of Skywalker, Rise of Clovis.
I don't even think that's it. Let's read this. Back on Coruscant, Clovis strikes a dubious deal to become the leader of his clan, which deeply mirrored in corruption. Anakin doesn't trust Clovis, causing tensions in his relationship to Padme. Because is it this episode or the next episode where it's revealed that Dooku, he's the deals with Dooku?
It was this episode.
I think it's near the end, right? So that's why I don't like the Rise of Close. To me, that is like one, either he's obtaining a lot of power, or it's the Ben Solo treatment where he's becoming good. He doesn't become good, really. And then two, there's not really a rise. He just makes a deal that screws his planet even more. So I think this episode is titled very poorly. And again, more politics stuff. The best stuff is the Anakin Padme stuff, which we'll get into. There's a big scene also with the Clovis, but I'll let Taylor talk first before we get into the ending when Anakin maybe just loses it a little bit. So.
Yeah. So it's overall, like, I like the episode because it was getting like the political sense. But yeah, Clovis is just more of a doofus, and the Rise of Clovis is a very odd name. So
it's just like they nothing else at all.
Yeah. His character, though, in this, like, he was definitely becoming more, on point and right up in that Padme pie kind of thing. And Anakin, he doesn't take too well to that. And then there's that, you get that one scene where Padme just yells to Anakin, like, Anakin, and he's much more aggressive in this. And it's like looming, like, I mean, I would never be like this overprotective over my girlfriend.
What, to beat a guy to a bloody pulp?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
he's not a bloody pulp.
Clovis didn't think he was doing anything wrong. He's an idiot. He's like, oh, you're single probably. You aren't hooking up with a Jedi, and I'm just gonna like put the moves on you. And Anakin really lost his control. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because Clovis doesn't really make it out of this. So.
No, he doesn't. So obviously that was all going down, and it's kind of, I think, near the end of it where Anakin, so he bursts in the room, he's kind of had enough, and then he decides, doesn't he pulls his lightsaber out, doesn't he? Yeah, because he's just gonna.
That is like fight me like a man kind of thing.
He's gonna assassinate him, which Anakin is a little bitch. So what happens is, my favorite thing is at first, so he gets in there because he was going there just to confront Clovis because he thought he was like a traitor or something, right? But then he sees that he was like trying to kiss Padme or was about to get that Padme pie. So he goes in there, he unites his lightsaber, which if you're anybody, including Padme, who has seen him gun down sand people, or like laser down sand people, it could go very unfortunate for
Padme knows. Her eyes twitching at this point.
And also, if anybody else, obviously they cover with the worst story after this fight. They're just like, oh, there was an attacker that came through the window and Skywalker saved me. He took a ship that way. You better go check. One, terrible story. But two, if it was true, so maybe they didn't believe him. But if it was true, those troopers did not move at all. They're just like, oh, okay. Like, get on your ships. Hurry, catch this guy. But no, so that happens. And then, he says, fight me like a man. So, one, it's funny because it doesn't go well for Clovis at the beginning because he just gets demolished. And she's like, wow, this is a really bad idea for Clovis. Fight me like a man. But anyway, so Clovis, I think he ends up kicking him in the face and he gets some moves in there. But then what happens is Anakin at one point force pushes him against the wall. So, it's like, that's completely cheating. So, it's like once Clovis finally starts to find a way and get equal to Anakin completely takes the back row and just force push and then goes back to pounding him. And it's just like, wow, you bastard. You can't even beat Clovis in a fair fight. So Anakin sucks. But yeah. And then after this, they lead to like this conversation between Anakin and Padme. And Padme leads it off by just saying, like, I don't think we should see each other anymore. Not like for a while. And then she does, he's like, what do you mean? Then she does go, well, maybe just some time apart. But at first she did say, we shouldn't see each other anymore. You two are married. Like, no matter what, you're going to, in a court of law, have to see each other. Like,
that's how they end a marriage in Star Wars.
Yeah, I know no one else knows this, but still, it's just like, yeah, we've been married for maybe, how long has
3
been
years.
3 years. And Padme just drops up. Let's just not see each other ever again.
You never dropped that in a marriage?
No, but at least then they talk like, oh, we need some space, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy, the one-eyed guy from Attack of the Clones that didn't make it. Oh, no, he is in the other two. It's the guy that was, which has such a weird origin. The guy from Phantom Menace that was replied that becomes like
Captain Panaka.
Yeah, doesn't he become a senator or something? But he started to work with Palpatine and it was all shady and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, good canon origin.
Yeah,
crazy.
Not the route I thought that character was going to go down. But this guy we've seen around, he just asked Padme, oh, everything fine? And she's like, obviously distressed, and nothing's really made. So I don't know why they were like, he doesn't follow up and talk to her. He just kind of knows that something's going on.
He's going for the Padme pie.
Yeah, maybe. It's like, now's my shot that Annie's not here. But yeah, I would give this episode, I'll give it a thumb just for how outrageous the fight was.
I'll give it a thumb and a half.
Christ is at the heart. Clovis' deal with the Separatists backfires. Oh, who would have fucking thought, Clovis? Consequentially, instigates a war, thus provoking the Republic to interfere and ultimately win the battle. In the midst of chaos, Anakin confronts Clovis as the duo and Padme are caught in the blast, while Anakin barely managing to cling on to the other two when they virtually fall to death. They should mention that they get shot and they go falling and he catches them, not just randomly, he's clutching them, but barely managing to cling on to the other two when they're when they virtually fall to their death. Though he intended to pull both up safely, Anakin merely saves Padme when Clovis allows himself to be killed. So yeah, and that honestly is the episode right there. It starts with Clovis being pissy that they're turning on him, everyone being like, well, and Anakin being like, well, we knew it was going to go on this road. There's a war. It's a very small war, in my opinion, that the Republic win quite easily. Like there's like even the ships they sent the Separatists, there's not that many of them, so I think they were not that prepared, or maybe this was some sort of chess piece in the greater war. But this episode was fine. It was exactly that. It was everything you thought would go down, where revealed they're bad, like it's not going well. Who would have thought? Then the good guys come and save, and then there's like a very which is kind of funny because I guess it's not this episode, but we got a very similar like Ahsoka and what's her pickle, the sister, Saw's sister, like on a mountaintop one. So I know it was a season ago and it wasn't the exact same situation, but I think it was a little too similar for only a few episodes where Ahsoka was dealing with somebody trying to catch her and she fell, and Clovis, Anakin's really happy he let go and everything like that. So this episode it was good, but it was to me just on par with all the other ones. So it would be a thumb up for me. I don't have much to say about this. There wasn't this juicy relationship stuff, and then Anakin or Padme are just like back together and they're like trying to be happy or whatever. So
yeah, no, I would give this 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
I like this episode in the sense that it's the political aspect, and I really like how Palpatine got the banks. I remember watching this story arc and just going over to my dad's place, just telling him like, "Oh, Dad, guess what Palpatine did next? He he got control of the banks, the banking clan, and all this stuff." And that's just a huge, that's a huge thing for Chancellor Palpatine. Like, he's got the Republic, he's got the clone army, and now like that's like someone, a guy named Clovis who just ends up fucking up royally, and then you somehow are just presented with like, we want to give you access to the World Bank of the galaxy, and you just have access to all the monies, and it's like, holy crap. So just wild shit, just wild shit.
That's why you like it though, just that Banks part where he takes over.
Oh yeah, because that was just a huge like Chancellor, Flappy Sith cock play, and I feel like this arc also like he unintentionally, accidentally got control of the banks, like because it's just I don't know. Yes, it was Dooku's plan, but I wouldn't put much faith in Clovis. Clovis just fucked everything up, but it still worked in Palpatine's favor. So.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this. So we've reviewed all 7 of these last episodes. Then the next one we have 6 more, and then we'll be done with the Clone Wars retrospective. So Taylor, where can they find us all?
Oh, they can find us with your internet connection, ladies and gentlemen, in the search bar, Facebook, Geekverse Space Podcast. You can find lots of stuff, Geekverse Cast on Twitter and Patreon. And now check us out on Spreaker.
Yes. That's where they want to go. That's where those are the two main ones. iTunes, Spreaker, those best. Go subscribe, like, and follow wherever we are. If you like what we do, head over to Patreon and you can get stuff early, exclusive, and ad-free. Right now, we have our Suicide Squad commentary track. That's up there at the $5 level. Everything is just, that's there. It's exclusive there. Not going to be dropping anytime soon on the feed. Next up is going to be Sonic's, or not Sonic. In honor of Sonic, we're doing Mortal Kombat. We'll be doing a Sonic review. It's probably already out. No, it's not out yet, but it will be out soon by the time this drops. So, and then if you like what we do, just please go review us on Apple, iTunes. I hate the name change. Apple Podcasts. Give us that 5 stars. If you want to give us anything lesser, don't worry about it. It's fine. But a written review. A written review is the one we need. I think we're almost at 160. We need 40 more to hit our next goal. So that would mean the world to us. So thank you very much for tuning in. Next week is the final retrospective of non-new episodes. So that's going to be the last of season 6. So until next time, may the force be with you.
Always.